What's up everyone, hope you guys are all having a great day today. Yeah, I know I've been milking Nintendo a lot the last few days, but there's been so much shit going on with Nintendo and there's been so little shit going on with anybody else that I have pretty much no other choice. So, as I talked about yesterday, they had the Smash Direct for Sora getting into Smash, and it was pretty good. But probably the stupidest thing about this was that they announced Kingdom Hearts coming to Switch. Now, on its own, this is cool, people who end up maining Sora can understand where the fuck he comes from, but the downside to this is that I know at the very least Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to be played through cloud. Now, I absolutely hate Switch cloud games. It literally defeats the purpose of the Switch, which is to take it wherever the fuck you want, whether you have Wi-Fi or not. Cloud games require Wi-Fi to use them. The Switch is not meant for cloud gaming. You would use a phone, a tablet, or a low-end laptop for cloud gaming, not a fucking Switch. But here's someone who wants Nintendo to embrace cloud gaming, so enough talking and let's see what YouTube has shat out today.
Look, I'm just gonna say this. If you were going to tell me that this was going to be one of the most intriguing cloud gaming devices of 2021, yeah, definitely would have called you a liar.
And you would still be one, because literally the entire purpose of the Switch is to take it wherever you want, with or without Wi-Fi, and again, cloud gaming literally defeats the purpose of that. Not to mention the insane amounts of input lag, and the Switch cloud versions of games ultimately feeling like absolute shit to play.
Are you listening?
Welcome back to the Nerf Report. My name is Bryant, and before we dive into today's show, do me a favor, hit that like button, and if it's your first time here, please consider subscribing to the channel as well. The Nerf Report is quickly becoming one of the leading outlets for all things cloud gaming.
I really don't think that's much of a boast from how literally nobody cares about cloud gaming right now because of how bad it is.
Google Stadia, Amazon Luna,
Xbox Cloud Gaming, and Geforce Now. We are posting awesome videos about platforms just like these twice a day, and you do not want to miss out on any of that. Just like today's show,
which is about Nintendo. And a question that I've been asking myself quite a bit lately.
Has Nintendo been secretly planning a hostile takeover of the world of cloud gaming?
You know, I thought I could avoid Fornitron's editing style by just not making a video on him. However, I was wrong. I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
And granted, it might not have been that specific, but Nintendo has been making some very interesting moves, like not releasing a next-gen Nintendo Switch Pro. That kind of stuff makes me wonder, is Nintendo bound for the clouds?
No, Nintendo just knows that people will eat up the Switch even if it's extremely underpowered, especially today, and people will still buy their shit. I mean, look at Mario 3D All-Stars or Switch Online or any of the Wii and Wii U ports to Switch. All of those have been successful because Nintendo knows people will keep buying their shit no matter what it is. Making a Switch Pro would be more expensive for Nintendo, so they might as well just go with the OLED option so they can milk the Switch for as long as possible.
Because let's face it, as far as cloud gaming goes, Nintendo is definitely the platform to benefit the most from it.
No, the platform to benefit the most from cloud gaming would be like a phone or a tablet or a low-end laptop, something just about everyone would have. The Switch hasn't even sold 100 million units yet. To me, the entire point of cloud gaming is that it's gaming, but you don't need to buy a console to use it. Putting it on Switch wouldn't make any sense because nobody's gonna go out and buy a Switch for cloud gaming when they can play their games in the same way on their phone or laptop.
PlayStation and Xbox respectfully sell consoles that are more than capable of running next-gen quality games. Whereas with Nintendo's main console, the Nintendo Switch, it struggles in the hardware department, which has resulted in many developers avoiding a Nintendo Switch release for their game. And look, I want to be as clear as possible. This is not one of those, the helicopters are coming, the government is turning us into frogs, and the leaders of the free world are lizard people. Wake up, sheeple type.
I'm so confused at what the fuck's even going on anymore.
A theory. This is something, for the most part, Nintendo is already embracing. Like originally, we knew that Nintendo was using cloud streaming to test the waters with games like Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Resident Evil 7 running in Japan.
And both of those cloud ports were absolute dog shit. One day I got bored and I decided to try the cloud version of Resident Evil 7 on Switch. That shit didn't even load past the opening cutscene.
But then Nintendo extended that cloud offering to include games like Remedy Entertainment's Control and IO Interactive's Hitman 3. And for me, Nintendo cloud gaming really established itself by getting Control to run on the Nintendo Switch. I mean, Control was a game that made my PlayStation 4 sound like a freaking fighter jet getting ready to take off for war. It definitely ran well on my PlayStation 4. However, when Control was streaming to my Nintendo Switch, it made me realize that the cloud-based future for Nintendo is well within the realms of possibility here.
I mean, yeah, it's possible, but again, nobody's gonna buy a Switch to play games through cloud they can already play on their phones.
Because Control, running on the Nintendo Switch, felt extremely similar to my experience on PlayStation.
Yeah, except for like the 1 second of fucking input lag. Yeah, basically the same thing.
And a cloud-based future for Nintendo really does open the floodgates of what is possible with the Nintendo Switch. Like back in 2018, former Nintendo executive Reggie Fils-Aimé stated that he wanted to see Red Dead Redemption 2 running on the Nintendo Switch. And admittedly, I laughed at that and said,
There is zero chance that the Nintendo Switch could ever run a game like that.
Well, no fucking shit.
but fast forward 4 years, thanks to the power of cloud gaming, we might see a day where that is possible.
But is it going to sell well? Probably not. Like, anytime I see the words cloud version next to a game on Switch, my mind instantly gets turned away and I get flashbacks from trying to play the Resident Evil 7 cloud version.
Alright, so let's rewind for a second and dive into the question of what is cloud gaming?
Why the fuck does a cloud gaming focused channel have to discuss what cloud gaming is? That's like if I had to explain to you guys in each video what a retard is. A retard, or the politically correct version, neurodivergent, is an insanely fucking stupid person who has takes that are played only for the entertainment of people with a fucking brain. Okay, I know this has nothing to do with the topic at hand, but why the fuck is he using the footage of Brie Larson playing Fortnite? Jesus Christ.
When cloud gaming works, your experience should be no different than streaming videos from services like Netflix.
Yeah, but the thing is, when it works, which right now, especially on the fucking Switch, it doesn't. The best form of cloud gaming I've tried was Control on the Switch, which even that had like 1 to 2 seconds of input lag, which, let's say if you want to play like a super fast-paced game like Doom Eternal or Hotline Miami, those 1 to 2 seconds of input lag can definitely fuck you up. And God forbid if you're playing a roguelike game and the power goes out and your Wi-Fi disconnects and you have to restart the entire thing over again. There are so many little issues with cloud gaming that if I were to go over them all in this video, it would end up being like 2 hours long. And I'll be honest, I can see cloud gaming actually becoming popular in a couple of years, maybe even by the end of the decade, but internet speeds right now are not fast enough to make it feel exactly like you have a console. The concept of cloud gaming is actually really cool, it's just the execution of it right now that has been extremely poor.
Whereas previously, without cloud gaming, we would have assumed that in order to get Red Dead Redemption 2 on the Nintendo Switch, it would require users to go and buy a brand new next-gen model of the Switch, or the developer would have to dumb down the game so much that you lose what made that game unique to begin with.
And that's exactly why they haven't put it on the Switch.
But what cloud gaming services like Google Stadia, Amazon Luna, and Geforce now have proven is that games like Red Dead Redemption 2 can easily be streamed from the cloud to any device like a tablet, smartphone, Chromebook, TV stick, or personal computer. Hell, I got Red Dead Redemption 2 to stream to my Oculus Quest via Google Stadia, and it ran extremely well. And this is where I get to the point that I think Nintendo has some very big plans for Nintendo Cloud streaming. I mean, since the initial test, Nintendo has announced cloud versions of games like A Plague Tale: Innocence, A Plague Tale: Requiem, Phantasy Star Online 2, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, and the entire Kingdom Hearts series. We started with just 2 games, and that has quickly expanded to a total of 12 games.
Oh my god! Wow! Oh my god!
Wow, 12 whole games. Holy shit, God is real. Maybe we can get 13 games within this coming year. Again, I'd rather them just not even bother putting the games on Switch if their only option is through cloud, not to mention it being a massive fucking waste of time with the fact that phones and laptops are a thing.
For me, as a gamer who has fully embraced cloud gaming, I can't help but be excited about the idea that Nintendo could further embrace cloud technology. Like, I know this is a long shot here, but...
And this is actually the decent part of the video. Basically, he goes on to say that if Nintendo can, they should make cloud versions of their games, which again, I'd rather have the actual versions of those games, proven from how unreliable cloud gaming has shown itself to be the last few years. But if that's what it's gonna take for first-party Nintendo games to come to other platforms, I'll take what I can get. But I'm cutting this entire segment because I don't want to waste your time.
I think Nintendo is fully aware of the potential here. Take Super Mario Run, which for the most part was Nintendo's first test of a mobile game. Super Mario Run was downloaded 40 million times in its first 4 days.
Because it was a super casual 2D Mario game, which is one of the most recognizable games ever, and it was free and pretty much on every phone out there.
In comparison, it took Nintendo 33 months to sell 48 million Nintendo Switches. Imagine how fast a cloud version of Breath of the Wild would sell on Android or iOS devices.
I mean, it depends what Nintendo is going to do with that. Knowing Nintendo, they're going to charge a full $60 for it, which is going to take a huge part away from that audience that downloaded Mario Run, because you're comparing a free game to a game that costs $60 fucking dollars. Not to mention Breath of the Wild is a hell of a lot more complicated than Mario Run, so that's also going to push away a lot of people. I still think it would sell well, but it would probably push away a significant chunk of people who downloaded Mario Run.
About how many subscriptions Nintendo could sell if they had a cloud version of Pokemon available to you on any device that you own. A cloud gaming future for Nintendo not only lowers the barrier of entry for a brand new audience, but it also eliminates the need for Nintendo to constantly be upgrading new hardware just to stay 2 steps behind the competition.
You really think Nintendo is going to give up the money they get from selling consoles, controllers, and online subscription services when they're doing perfectly fine right now in terms of people buying their shit? Fuck no.
It's a win-win for everyone. Nintendo gets a much larger audience, resulting in far more money, and
I don't think the casual audience that downloaded Mario Run on their phones for free is gonna want to touch something like Breath of the Wild or Metroid Dread for $60 each. Might just be me though.
internally they don't have to worry about the R&D costs to build new hardware. I mean, I for one would love to see Nintendo embrace cloud gaming more, but what do you all think?
Yeah, so that's basically the end of his first video, but as you would expect, he got absolutely fucking ratioed by people for all the reasons I showed in this video. So I'll give him some credit, he made a response video. However, it was mostly just him cherry picking the most retarded people, saying how most people who didn't like his video didn't watch it, which I honestly believe, and the one argument he made debunking some of like the actual arguments was this.
And you know, something that stood out to me from yesterday was the amount of people that were concerned about internet connections, specifically with cloud gaming. And the argument was, you know, I want to take games on the go with me, and if you don't have a good cell signal, how am I going to be able to play games if I don't have a good internet connection? And it genuinely struck me as odd that the idea of not having video games was such an offensive idea to these people. Like, some of you clearly did not grow up in the generation when you had to shut your Game Boy off at night because the screen wasn't backlit. And if you were in a car, you had to base your moves on the passing streetlights.
So basically his only arguments were when portable gaming was first made, a few of the beginning consoles didn't do it very well. Cry about it. When now the Switch does do portable gaming fairly well, and even with those 2 consoles he listed, they're still better than cloud gaming because at least with those, under the right lighting environment, you can play your game without a Wi-Fi connection. But basically that's everything this guy had to say on the situation. I'm fucking tired. These videos were so fucking boring to get through. Thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe because I need to get to 1K, and I hope you all have a great day.
What are you going to do?